This episode of Noise of the Broke Boys is brought to you by math. Are you an intellectual because you can solve a math problem posted on social media using the correct order of operations? Do you operate on a higher plane of intelligence because you recognize that algebra is the mathematical representation of knowing how many boxes of tissues you can buy for $5 after losing that dance competition? Congratulations, you are officially a connoisseur of 5th grade mathematics and well on your way to mastering 6th grade mathematics. However, if this isn't you, don't fret. I'm excited to announce to all my listeners that math does not need to be a burden on your life. It is a subject that not only has immense practicality, but it will also help train critical thinking and strengthen your logic-based argumentative skills. Please consult a local library or online resource for further information on how math can change your life. And now on to the show. In this episode, I talk with a b-boy who has significant experience in both the European and American breaking scenes. This guy really puts me on game about life as a dancer in Europe in the early 90s. I had a great time learning about his history and picking his brain about various topics. Please enjoy the episode with Illjaz, or Illjaz, of the Ruffn'x. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the disaster show that I just fucked up because I didn't press record. So here we are. Hopefully I can salvage something from what we recorded earlier. But I'm here with my boy Illjaz. He's from Switzerland. We are talking about break dancing and, you know, how I don't know how to record podcasts. So okay, how long have you been dancing?
I started dancing with my younger brother. Mm-hmm. He's 1.5 years younger than me, and we started in 98, 99.
Okay.
And it was a good time. I'm happy we started still in the 90s, you know?
Yeah.
And before that, we played soccer. We did inline skating, like half pipe and everything, and then Muay Thai. And then one day we saw like the Run DMC, It's Like That music video, you know? And that was like dope and shit, you know? But when we went to youth center, they have a half pipe, and we went with the inline skates.
Yeah.
And then we look inside, there was some b-boys, you know.
Underneath the half pipe?
No, it was a half pipe, and there was a building right next to it, you know. And there were windows, and I looked in the windows, and then I needed to go to the bathroom. I go inside, and I see somebody doing 90.
Oh, nice.
I didn't know what 90 is, you know. And that was like, shit, I want to learn that, you know. And then since then, we threw out the inline skates, and we started breaking. And
so how old were you?
I was 15.
15 when you first saw it. That's probably about when I started too. I was probably 14 or 15.
Yeah, man, I had no flexibility because of soccer. I had big legs, you know, all muscle legs.
I was pretty flexible when I started because I did taekwondo for a long time.
Nice.
And so we would, you know, you'd have to kick really high and stuff. So I was kind of flexible from that. But I used to skateboard, actually.
Nice.
So I knew about half pipes and stuff. I had a lot of friends that did inline skating, and so we would go to lots of skate parks, and I wish I had been breaking at that time because I totally would have done windmills on a half pipe because it was just so smooth.
Yeah.
But I didn't break. I quit. I kind of quit skating to break.
Yeah,
because it was
with inlines.
I just felt like skating was so dangerous. I saw so many people just fall and break their wrists. My cousin broke his wrist, actually. But I had another friend who broke his ankle. And they were doing, like, you know, shitty tricks. It's like, you know, kick flip and they, like, flop. And it's like if you did a windmill and broke your arm, like, you know what I mean? It's just the generic, you know, beginner trick sort of, like... of the sport, and you just break your arm.
You know, I started with skating first, actually.
Yeah.
And then I went to the mini ramp, and I went there. The skateboard stayed there, and I flew back on my back right away.
Oh, yeah.
I felt like Mike Tyson.
Oh, yeah.
When he broke his back.
Spinal.
Yo, what did he say? That's how I felt. And I was like, man, I need something that stays on my feet. That's why we started inline skating, you know?
Yeah, I tried inline skating. I picked it up pretty easily, actually, but I just never was too into it. I was just more into skateboarding. But yeah, I had some friends. They would like, you know, jump up and grind on stuff. So they showed me how to do that. So I learned kind of some basic tricks
fun.
how to do that stuff.
But man, like 10 years after I haven't done anything on the inline skates, I stand on the half pipe. I couldn't go down.
It's scary.
Hey, I was like, man, how did I do that?
Yeah.
You know, when I was young, I was like just flying, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, shit.
When I was, man. Shoot, I was skating, I think I started when I was probably like 11, and I went till probably 15 or 16 maybe. And yeah, I used to go on half pipes and stuff, and now I look at them like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And
Crazy,
we would go off like stairs and stuff and go onto rails and stuff, and I'm like, man, what the heck? How did I even do this? Man. I mean, I wasn't really good at it or anything, but I feel like I was maybe less fearless.
Yeah.
Or,
we
or
just
more
did
fearless,
it. Yeah, now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back then we just did it, man.
Yeah.
I remember when I started a little bit breaking and still a little bit inline skating. They have like this ramp going down and then this little island.
Yeah.
And I flew, you know, I started breaking. I had so much energy and different. Yeah. I flew over that thing and I landed like 2 meters away from, you know, and I was like, shit, what am I gonna do? I just rolled and did a coin drop and then, oh my God, what was that?
Yeah,
you know, it was crazy. And
you know what? Breaking has saved my life a couple times because,
yeah,
there was times when I went snowboarding and you're going so fast down a hill and you just hit like something and you just eat shit. And I'm like, you know, I probably should have been wearing a helmet, but I wasn't. And it's just like, whoop. And then for some reason it kicks in and I'm like, oh, I know how to like land and I'll do a coin drop or something. And like, you know, so my head doesn't get hit and, you know, I kind of use my shoulders or whatever to roll out. And then I stand up and people are like, what the fuck? How did you like not just die?
You got something from cats.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like they,
because I mean, in a way, breaking is just like falling, but showing off at the same time, sort of.
Make it smooth.
So it's like you got good at jumping on the ground.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but fun fact is when we started breaking, we thought it's a sport.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Like
so we
like a gymnastics or something?
Before we started breaking with inline skates, we listened, we discovered Tupac, and we knew that's hip hop and Cypress Hill.
Yeah.
You know, Tupac, Cypress Hill, Exhibit, NWA a little bit, you know.
So all that made their way to
But
Europe.
I thought this is hip hop. Yeah. In the 90s, man, we listen all the golden era hip hop, you know.
Okay, that's dope.
And we thought that's hip hop, but we didn't know about. We knew graffitis somehow mixed with hip hop, you know. And DJs, they have the rappers have a DJ, you know. But we didn't know breaking is part of hip hop, you know.
I feel like a lot of people don't know that breaking is part of hip hop.
But when we started, we learned all the 4 elements and knowledge, the culture, and everything, you know.
Yeah.
But first, we did it because we like this sport.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely cool. When I first saw it, I mean, I don't know when I first saw it. I think I first saw it when I used to watch pro wrestling, and there was the group Too Cool. And the one guy, his special move was he would just throw you on the ground and then he would just dance around you and then do the worm all the way across the ring and then just whoo, and like elbow you in the face. And I thought that was the coolest thing.
Yeah.
I was probably in middle school. I was probably maybe 12 years old when I first saw that. And I was like, you know, so I thought breakdancing was wrestling.
Wow, that's crazy.
But so...
Maybe because we saw breaking in only music videos, you know, back then, you know, and it was all kinds of music. It wasn't only like hip hop music. It was like house music, dance music, you know, techno. You always saw a Bboy somewhere, you know.
Yeah.
So we didn't connect it with hip hop.
Yeah, I think in the 90s that was when house music started really like colliding a lot with hip hop.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm interested in like how hip hop looks in Europe compared to here, because just like I've seen hip hop as I grew up here, and I imagine it's way different in
Europe, because like here hip hop was always associated with like gangs and like, you know, people, mischief causers and stuff. You know what I mean?
I mean,
I don't know what it looks like in Europe.
There is two ways of hip hop, like people that are passive and there are people that are active. You know, they like back in the 90s, hip hop in Europe was like, you're not hip hop if you're not in an element. You know, if you beatbox, okay, you even it's not like really official a part or of hip hop, but you're still hip hop. You know.
Okay.
But if you break or beatbox or MC or DJ or graffiti, you part of hip hop. Okay. And then there is the other people, they just friends and they hang out with and they dress hip hop, listen hip hop and whatever, but they're not active, you know.
Okay.
That's how it was.
Okay. I guess it's kind of like that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know more back in the day it was like you got to be super down.
Yeah.
Like Bboy was your life, you know. You really like you lived that life.
Yeah. We used to go like to Germany, you know, when we were like 16. We told our parents that we're gonna go to a friend, we're gonna practice and then stay over there. But we went like 500 miles away, you know. We train and we go to a different city, to Germany, go to a jam. Next day practice and then come back.
Yeah, you know? That's the B-boy life for sure.
It was a good time, man.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, I did the same thing.
When we went first time Battle of the Year, I think 2000 or 2001, we trained. It was like 5-6 hours away. We train, and then you go to the Battle of the Year, cipher everything and event everything, and then you go. The event is over, after party is over. And then you have to wait for the first train that starts going back home. You see like 100 of B-boys at the train station, just cipher, practice, chilling. Some people sleeping in the corner, some people practicing, exchanging, you know. People like B-boys from France, Germany, Holland, Switzerland, Italy, you know, you connect, you know, exchange and practice.
That's cool.
And it wasn't back then, it wasn't like really a cipher or calling out somebody, but it was more of a circle. Somebody practice something, you know, and you go there and exchange and hey, do this like this, or hey, look, try like that, or look, I do something similar, you know.
So was it like a pretty friendly scene in Europe? In terms of like, because what I'm used to is like, I would come from Sacramento you know, we'd just jump in a car and we'd go to the other city to do a jam or something. And everybody calls us out because it's like, hey, you're in our neighborhood, and we would just get battled. So
that's nice, man.
It's like, it was almost, I mean, it was definitely less friendly. Now it's a lot more friendly. I can come, you know, like me moving to LA. If I had done that when I first started breaking, I probably would have got battled for like a solid, you know, 3 or 4 months until people were like, okay, I think this guy's cool.
Crazy.
You know? Because, dude, the first time I think I went to a practice in Sacramento, like I was just in high school, and like we just show up and they're like, who are these two? It was me and my brother. We just show up and they're like, who are these two kids? And we like couldn't even do anything really. Like my brother could do an invert, and like I don't know what I could do, like a head slide and freeze or something. And that's like our only moves. Like we seriously were breaking for maybe like 6 months, and it's like the whole like room is just like, oh fuck these guys, let's battle them.
That's fucked up, man.
And
to
so
be
we
honest,
just battle,
you know.
And then I think, you know, after you battle a couple times, then they realize, okay, you're not trying to cause harm, or like, because the thing was that everyone was scared that you're gonna like bite their moves, steal their stuff, and so it was like, you know, they're automatically sort of hostile to you.
Yeah. But imagine you guys would have stopped dancing because of that, you know.
Yeah,
that would suck bad.
It wouldn't be. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, there was a lot of reasons to stop. I mean, for sure.
But
it's fun. It was just
other way.
It
made you stronger, you know, to not give up and to stay on it, you know, and motivate you, maybe, you know.
It was just I had to learn what the scene was like, you know, what was acceptable in the scene, and go with that, you know. Like I remember I told this in another podcast, but I remember we brought this shitty camera, because me and my brother we used to make a lot of home videos. We used to make like skits. We were really into Mad TV. Do you remember Mad TV? It's like Saturday Night Live sort of.
Okay.
So we used to make all these stupid skits and stuff. So our parents got us this like really crappy video camera so we can make all these stupid skits just for fun. And then we brought it to go practice because we were just gonna film ourselves and stuff. And then people were like, "What are you doing with this camera?"
Yeah.
Like, you know, like you can get beat up for like bringing a camera to practice and stuff because you know, because they automatically think you're filming these guys to take their moves
To learn the moves. So
we learned real quick, don't bring the camera there.
We brought the camera very early in our training, you know, to see what to do wrong, because we were the youngest too, and there were older generation. You might know Basel City Attack. That's the older generation. They battled Rock Force crew in the 90s.
Yeah.
No, not Rock Force. Soul Control.
Cujo
and stuff, you know. Okay. And they were the older generation, and we look up to them. But we didn't got like help, you know. So all we got is ourselves, you know. He was looking me, and I was looking him, and then we see the older generation, and what's the difference between him and you know. And that's how we learn, you know. And then bring the camera and see what we do wrong. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's how we start. But we were the youngest, and our first battle was also about 6 months into breaking. Then first round we won against older guys. Yeah. And I was like, shit, man, we should keep going. You know, we're good. Next round we battle younger guys than us. And they smoke us so bad, you know. Yeah, man.
Dude, there's some good little kids.
And then, and then it's like, man, we need to practice. Yeah. It was a good wake-up call. And then from then on, we started practicing every day, you know. Yeah. Some days 8 hours. Yeah. Our parents didn't believe that we practice 8 hours. They thought we're doing something criminal, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, we would do kind of the same thing. And then, your parents would be like, what?
It's unbelievable, man. How can you practice 8 hours?
Yeah, but it's just like you get totally immersed into that world, and you just you have a focus to get better. Yeah. I think eventually my parents realized we're not doing anything bad, and they saw us getting better at it. So it's like, oh, they're obviously like practicing this. So like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, and we also stole my parents' camera, you know, because we didn't have a camera, and they used it only for a special when family came to visit, you know. And so we just took it and then practiced, and then sometimes they would see the tape, you know. We just buy new tape, put it in, and then record, and then take the tape out. And so they see. But we were like crazy addicted to practice, man. Yeah. Not even just battling, just practice, you know, to learn the move. You know, we were there first and we left there the last, you know. Mm-hmm. People were coming and going, and we're still there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was the same way, just always practicing. I mean, I definitely, that's like my favorite part of breaking for sure, is just like getting down, playing like your favorite music and just practicing, coming up with some new moves, training some new stuff, training old stuff. You know, I feel like that's where the real creativity comes in. When you're out battling, when you're performing and stuff, it's just kind of showing off.
You do what you know.
Yeah, you're just. I think if you practiced well, and then it's the performance in the battle is gonna go well because you did the homework. But the real work is really when you're practicing and trying to figure it out.
You know how I prepared for battles?
How?
I never prepared full sets.
Oh, no?
Like, I never practiced full sets in practice.
Yeah.
Because then if I'm going to just do the same solo what I did in practice, it's going to be boring. It's not going to have that fire feeling, whatever, you know? So I always practice only half sets.
Okay.
Yeah. And in practice, I do only half sets. And then I... maybe just add some power moves so I have the condition, the cardio. But in the battle, I would mix my small sets together, you know, like I put 3 sets in one solo, you know, in a battle then, you know. So it's always new, it's always fresh, and you can always improvise it, freestyle it, and, you know, it depends of the music moment and everything, you know.
I used to make full sets, and... it just got really boring to me to do that. So what I started doing instead is practicing those full sets. And then when I go to battle, I just don't think about them. I just totally try to just focus on, the battle, focus on the music, focus on my opponent, and just let it happen. Yeah. And I practice a lot of freestyling too. So it's like, I know that the material I have, this, the set of moves I put together, I know that it's good. Mm-hmm. And if I don't do it perfectly, I know how to freestyle out of it. Yeah. So it gives me confidence to just go out there and basically with a clear mind and just let it happen. Yeah. And I think that that's a way better way of breaking. Because before I would go out and go, okay, I need to pre-plan everything. And it distances you from everything, from the moment, from the music, from the battle, from the DJ. And it's just, I don't think that's a good way to do it. Yeah. But I was always trying to figure out a good way to mix, because there's a lot of creativity in the combinations that you put together that you pre-plan. Mm-hmm. I always wanted to be able to still showcase that, but I don't want it to look so disjointed. Yeah. And so the way that I figured out how to do that is to just make some sets and be content with not doing that. Yeah. And by practicing them so many times and then you just kind of forget it, it just kind of happens. Yeah, or like pieces
muscle
of
memory,
Yeah, it's all muscle memory. Exactly. It's like, I mean, like with martial arts, a lot of times you'll train like a combination, like a kick punch combination, hit to the body, hit to the head or whatever. And you train that so many times, but when you actually are fighting, you might not do the full combination. You'll do like part of it. You might do it twice in a row. You might link this combination to that one just because you see the opportunities. And you
have to improvise.
You improvise to make it happen. And so I took a lot from that.
Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah. And so since I've started doing that, I feel like it's helped me a lot.
Yeah. But then, for example, I wanted to say zum Beispiel, for example, that means in German. For example, when we started performing, like performances, shows, right? Mm-hmm. It's much easier than for us, right? Yeah. So because then we prepare a solo for the show to the music, so you can be much more confident in a performance.
Yeah.
Because we are, if you think about it, in a battle, you are in so many uncomfortable moments,
it's very uncomfortable.
But somehow you practice to be comfortable, Yeah. And in a performance, you're fully comfortable,
Yeah.
So you can shine much easier, much better,
Which,
if you go like to a choreo world, people struggle and are nervous,
Yeah.
I never understood in the beginning, why are you guys nervous, man? We've been practicing this, I don't know how long.
Yeah. No, I think it's just because you're in front of a bunch of people you don't know, and you're like, you're out in front of everybody and just doing what you want to do. And there's a little bit of fear that they might not like what you're doing, but you just gotta go, man. Who cares?
Yeah.
Who really cares?
Yeah, you have to do your thing, man.
You just gotta.
You cannot change it anymore. You know what I mean?
And really, at the end of the day, if that whole crowd says you suck, like, do you really care that much? I mean, it probably stings a little bit, but then you go like, man, I don't give a fuck about these people.
That's the best thing when you do something you love. It doesn't matter what other people think. You know what I mean?
I take the same approach with like judges too, like when you're actually battling and the judges vote against you or vote for you. Really, like,
man,
I look at it as they're a crowd member and they're just saying that their opinion of you was either you won or you lost. But I really think that if you enjoy what you did, then you shouldn't really worry too much about that. I mean, you could obviously like listen to what they have to say because they might have some insight into something you maybe didn't know about your own dancing. And that's always good to do. But at the end of the day, if you enjoy what you do, I don't think you should let anything hold you back. So like the way I always put it was like, if my mom was a judge and she was like, you suck, I'd probably be like, okay, maybe I got to practice. But like, if some random dude that I don't even know is like, oh, I thought you lost, and I honestly thought I won, I'd be like, okay, well, whatever.
Yeah, it's for me, it was totally different in the beginning, you know. When I was young, I was getting mad when I
Yeah,
lost,
yeah.
and the judges, man, you have no idea, and you
Yeah,
know what
yeah,
I mean.
yeah.
And but that comes with maturity, you know. If you lose, and you take it easy, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, I would get mad too, and then
Yeah.
eventually, you get to the point where it's like, win or lose, it doesn't really matter that
Yeah.
much, like, because again, it's just 3 or 5 people, you know, judging on this thing, and they just said you won or you lost.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
I've won
for-
battles that I thought I lost,
Yeah.
and I was like, I remember there's a couple of them where I was like, dude. I walked to the judges and I was like, dude, you got this wrong. And I gave my prize money to the other guy because I
Really?
was like,
Wow.
dude, I didn't win. And I'm not, just because these dudes say that I won,
That's crazy.
I'm not going to keep the money because I thought you know, this dude won or this crew won. So I just gave it to them. I've done that like a couple times at least. I can think of probably like 2 or 3 times that I've
That's
done
crazy, man.
that. But it's just because, you know, I don't break to like to get money or anything. It's like I just want to do it, and I like battling, but the competition part of it, I don't really care that much about it. It's fun to win, but I don't like winning when I don't think I won.
That's crazy, man. That you gave money. You know, I never heard that before.
Oh, you haven't?
Of somebody,
I
yeah.
know a couple people have done it.
I don't know.
It's just
never.
I don't know.
I mean, I know people, and I used to be one of those.
Yeah.
But I needed to win money to pay rent and
Yeah, no, I
insurance.
mean, there's been
and
times when
you know what I mean.
That too, yeah.
So because I didn't do performances, back in the days, battles was more important to me than performances. You know.
Okay.
So and I needed to win that battle to,
Yeah,
you know,
no.
to pay some stuff off. And then years later, I judged a competition,
Yeah.
and in the final, I judged against one guy, and he told me, man, yeah, you know, he came to me like, why did I lose this, that, man? Okay, I understand, but man, I need the money, man. I need to pay bills. And I was like, shit, man, I was the same like you. Yeah, man. But
Yeah.
you cannot never rely on winning battles to pay your
Yeah.
bills, man.
I think, I mean, there was times when I could have been in that situation, but I was like, what I need to do is actually go get a job. Yeah. So I got a job instead of like, I mean, there'd be times where I needed some quick money or something. And so we would go and do some street shows and stuff. So that was good to kind of, and that's always been my backup plan in a way. If like, you know, the world blew up or something and I didn't have any money, I'd go do a street show. I know that I'd survive for at least one day.
Yeah.
Because I could at least do some windmills and someone might give me like, you know, $10.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was always like, okay, I need to just go get a job to actually pay. But yeah, there's been times when I needed to win a jam, but I really hated the idea of like needing to win to
yeah, man, that's a bad moment.
yeah, it sucks, and also too, I was always scared of the idea that, you know, I might be winning and don't deserve the win, and so
That's crazy,
it always
man.
made me feel like crap to even think of that situation.
But
so
man, in these moments, with the time I learned to understand that, you know, it's in soccer, for example.
Mm-hmm.
You take the ball and put it in the net. That's a goal. That's a point.
Yeah.
But in art, it's hard to give a point here or here. You know, it's an opinion. And if those judges think you won, you know, it's their opinion. Even you did maybe just a baby freeze, and the guy did the baby freeze to 90 baby freeze. You know, and they like your form better, maybe. You know.
Yeah.
So it's hard to judge art. You know.
It's very hard to.
So that's why. Yeah.
That actually is a good segue to a question I have, because now breaking is becoming kind of more of a mainstream sport, and it's eventually getting into the Olympics. You see like big sponsored events and stuff, and my fear is that we are doing this but don't have a solid way of judging it, because it is an art, and I think the way that we've always judged it makes sense for the small community that we have as B-boys, But like when it comes to the mainstream stage where there's like lots of money, lots of sponsors involved.
If you think worldwide stage and
you know, comparing it to, you know, soccer, for instance, or like basketball or any kind of sport that's on a huge main stage, I don't think the judging system we have right now is going to cut it, because what's going to happen is a sponsor is going to look at it and be like, okay, why did this guy win over that guy? And you go, oh, because these 3 judges said so. Okay, well, what exactly made them say that? You know, he's got, you know, 50 years in the game, and he thought that his backspin was better than this guy's windmill. And then the sponsor's going to be like, no, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah. I'm out.
Look, for me, it's how I compared.
You can keep talking.
How I compared breaking to mixed martial arts, right? You remember mixed martial arts in the beginning?
Yeah.
90s, it was like a karate guy versus a wrestler.
Yeah.
A jiu-jitsu guy versus kickboxer.
Yep.
You know?
There was there was like Wing Chun versus like Taekwondo or something.
And that's,
it was a Wild West.
That's breaking, I would say, most of the time.
That's it right
because
now.
There is, or right now, but it's been for years that you have a guy that does more like foundation style, or a guy that does more blow up style, or a power move guy, or a mixed guy, you know. But a complete mixed martial artist is somebody that can do like kickboxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, taekwondo, karate, whatever, you know. And that should be with b-boying too, man. I like, if you want to be an Olympic champion, you cannot just roll around and do foundation and the freeze and that's it. You cannot be Olympic champion with only that. You have to have all the elements, you know, in breaking, and you have to put it on a level, you know, so everybody understands. Otherwise, it's going to be, like you said, you know, people will not understand it, you know?
Yeah. I think with mixed martial arts, it's a good example of this because, back in the day, it was just these styles versus each other, and eventually it evolved. People were seeing that certain styles were just dominating everything, and so then it evolved to where now the fighter isn't just this one style. He takes a little piece of this other style, and it makes him better. And so, like, eventually you saw everybody now doing that same thing, picking out different pieces of it. So now you see guys that, I mean, basically, and I'm not like an authority on this or anything, but like in general, like usually a good fighter would have some good striking, some good grappling, and some good ground stuff. And that would make them somewhat effective against anybody. Yeah. And that's the style that flew to the top of mixed martial arts in the UFC.
Let's take Conor McGregor, right?
Yeah.
He's a stand-up guy.
Yeah.
Southpaw, very effective.
Yeah.
But he had to learn takedown defense, grappling, you know. He had to learn
because
jiu-jitsu.
Those guys would do that to him.
You know, he had to. Yeah. But now, or maybe last couple years, there is people, like young people, they come up with the full game. They don't come from karate or from wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
They come and train everything right away. Yeah. There is MMA gyms and like from 2 to 3 it's wrestling, from 5 to 6 is kickboxing, from 7 to 8 is Muay Thai, and then Jiu-Jitsu from 9 to 10.
Yeah.
You know? And they train all at the same time. So it's a complete fighter. That should be with b-boying, man.
Yeah.
I feel.
I
standard. That should be a standard.
With mixed martial arts, I see how it makes sense to do it because it's the most effective way of fighting, and like having this broad range of ability to combat against all these different things, it makes sense for fighting. But like with breaking, I think there's an argument to be made that you're not necessarily, you don't, the full, I guess, how do you say it? Maybe like full package of B-boy, one who has like every single power move, every single like footwork move, every single whatever. I think there's an argument to be made that somebody who maybe doesn't do that but has a strong certain part of, you know, one of those styles can be effective against them, because there's a lot of creativity and artistry that comes in with it. Yeah, and that's what you're really being that's what you're. That's the main way of, I guess, winning a battle, I guess, is what I'm saying. Like, because in fighting, you get punched in the face and you get knocked out, or you get submitted, you lose. So the best way to get to that is to be able to defend against it and go and attack that way, right? But in breaking, there's not like a relation to fighting in that way, because you don't necessarily need to do a specific power move or whatever to win a battle or whatever. You
don't have to do 5 one-hand air flares or 1090s, but at least have some basic power moves, because that's part of breaking. If people say if you don't do footwork, you're not a b-boy. Hey, if you don't do windmill, backspin, headspin, then you're not a b-boy too. Because they were here before CCs. You know what I mean?
So I think maybe an
but
example.
I know what you mean with like artistry and his own style, and everything. Meno, for example.
So like Meno, for instance, does a lot of like footwork and flowy type of moves. Not a lot of power moves. Not a lot of top rocks. Not a lot of that's kind of really the only he doesn't do a lot of freezes either. And then compared to let me pick somebody. Someone who's more
last
well-rounded.
BC1 final.
Huh?
Last BC1 final. Did you see that?
Who was in
the Kazakhstan guy? Blonde?
Oh, yeah.
Kayla something.
Koila.
Yes.
Yeah. That guy's really good.
I thought he won.
I thought he won too.
Yeah, man, he was having fun.
I could see how
complete,
it was close.
original.
I could see how it was close. I think actually Meno probably thought he lost too, and that's why he called him out for more rounds.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty close. If I was a judge, I probably would have voted Killa Koila.
Yeah, me too.
But I'm not judging. So. Because I personally just thought that he had brought more to the table and had unique style.
He surprised me the most.
He was doing a lot of unique freezes and stuff.
And he came up every round with some new stuff. He's
a pretty well-rounded b-boy. But I would say he still airs on, more of like a thread type of style and like a freeze type of style. I'm trying to think of a b-boy that would be like very, very well-rounded, and that's it. Like
Lizu. He's very rounded. Man. He has power, I feel. With flips and power moves,
okay,
but he still has footwork. And
so let's go with him. So him versus Meno. So someone who's well-rounded versus someone who's very specialized. I could see how it could go either way with that too, though. And that's
depends also what round. It depends what round. First round or last or final battle,
but let's say they both throw their like dopest round though, right? Meno does some crazy like loop-de-loop spin around thing.
1 minute solo.
Something long like that.
1 minute flowing waves.
And it's a really dope round. And then Lil Zoo comes out, does a flip, does some power moves, does some freezes, does some footwork, hits a solid round. I think there's an argument to be made that either one of them would have won.
It also depends of the music.
But I think if this was mixed martial arts, you probably would have been like, the well-rounded guy would win.
But it goes to distance. Sometimes in MMA, and then judges take it, decide it wrong.
But I guess if you in mixed martial arts, if you had a guy who's very good at multiple styles versus one guy who's maybe just good at let's say kickboxing, this is a hard to predict example or anything, but I would say you probably would put your money on the guy who's more well-rounded, just because he can like attack from multiple angles, right? And he could get the other guy into a situation that guy cannot defend in, whereas the other guy is banking on being able to like keep him in his world where he's the best, right? Whereas in breaking, I feel like the guy who's very specialized, he can still like blow you up. Same thing that the guy who's very well-rounded can still blow you up. And so the moves are just as effective in a way, you know what I mean? And the strategy is a little bit different, because this guy doesn't need to keep you in his pocket anymore. He just needs to perform and kill it, right? And this guy needs to basically the same thing. Keep it in his pocket and do what he's good at, you know.
Yeah. And
So
then
I don't know.
what looks visually better,
Yeah.
that's then important. But
Yeah.
what's gonna make it look visually better is the music, you know.
The music, yeah.
I think that's in
That's-
breaking what plays a big factor
That's the biggest
compared
that's
to
the most-
MMA.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. It's
Yeah.
really breaking is hard to
But
compare to anything.
I think it's the closest thing
Oh.
sports-wise to compare breaking with MMA, I would say.
I'd
Because
say
if you
that
you cannot compare it with soccer or football,
yeah.
basketball, or
there's
you know
not
what I
really a good. There's not a sport I can think of that it really
Yeah.
compares to. The things that I think make the most sense is somewhere between mixed martial arts and skateboarding or like
skateboard, yeah.
something like that.
Yeah,
and the
like
reason
freestyle sports.
the reason I say like
Freestyle
skateboarding
sports.
because
Yeah.
a lot of that has to do with like they'll make up a trick
Yeah.
and go like, this is what I'm gonna
This
do.
is my
It's like
move.
yeah, it's just like making up your own breaking move,
Yeah,
you know. But then skateboarding kind of it doesn't quite match up because then you see, okay, he says, oh, I'm gonna do this trick, and then they judge you on how well you hit that trick. But in breaking, you're not telling any judge what you're gonna do. You're gonna surprise them and probably surprise them with the move that they've never seen before.
Yeah.
And so you have this surprise factor too. So it's really hard to
Yeah, man.
to
You know,
compare.
nowadays I miss the exchange sometimes in battles, you know.
Yeah.
Like back in the days when I talked to Storm, you know,
Uh-huh.
they would do like and that's how I grew up, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I consider him the only master of
Oh, yeah.
mine breaking. Yeah,
Okay.
I never took his class or something,
Uh-huh.
but I took his locking class.
That guy's good
you
at
know,
everything.
yeah. But I learned from him just by listening, you know,
Okay.
and conversations with him.
I think I
and-
watched his DVD a long time
Yeah,
ago. Yeah. I just remember him. You
and
do like a 6-step and you go like, no, you try it. And I'm like, oh, cool. I already know how to do
yeah,
it.
he's the best. Man. He's the best, man.
Yeah, he seems like a cool guy.
Yeah,
I
man,
don't
he's
know him
very cool.
personally, though.
He's like big brother, and you can learn so much. And I can listen for days to him, you know.
Yeah,
And when
yeah.
he talks, I don't talk, man. I just listen and then
Yeah.
I ask something, you know. But
Yeah.
how I grew up with battles is exchange, you know. For example, he tells me like, yeah, somebody do flare, windmill, baby freeze, and then he goes footwork, and then ends it nice, you know. I have to go there and I have to do flare, windmill, turtle, and then go in a freeze and then go up, and you know, and I did battles, and then he
Yeah.
has to come and bring it level. That's how we
Yeah. You know
go
Ace?
further, and that's like a exchange.
Do you know Ace?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had him
Jeez.
on the podcast like a couple of months ago actually. He told me a story about when he doesn't call it battle, but I would say it probably was a battle between him and Storm when Storm was visiting, and I guess they just battled like 30 something rounds or whatever,
Shit.
and it was like that. They were just exchanging, like they would
man,
just
that's-
one up each other
yeah.
each time, and it wasn't like they weren't talking smack to each other.
yeah.
It was they were respecting each other, and it would be like, oh, that was dope. Let me show you what I can do now. Do. And he'd go, oh, that's cool too. And then this is how I would do that. Boom. And so they just went back and forth for 30 rounds.
That's
and did
crazy,
that.
man.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
But it's also like back then it was like practice, you know.
yeah.
You know, you push each other, you exchange, and you know. But when you battle in Cypher, like later
It's more of a
generation, and when the people start talking, man, they're insecure and
Yeah.
they see that they're losing. I have to talk to bring him,
Yeah.
so he messes
I
up,
hate-
and you know what I mean.
I hate
That-
that.
like,
I made this
come on.
rule with shit talking is I'm not gonna say anything unless they say it.
Mm-hmm.
But if they do talk, I'm gonna say the wildest thing so that they feel terrible.
Shit.
And so, because like I don't know, I've always been good at like talking shit to people because I have a lot of friends that we would do that too.
Man,
And
the
so
best.
in battles, it's I always try to be very respectful, but as soon as somebody says something, I'm like, okay, I can make. And I usually don't make fun of their breaking. I usually just make fun of like what they're wearing. Or
Oh shit. Okay.
I don't know.
Okay,
It's just
okay.
fun to do that, but
Yeah, it's just.
I don't like that part of breaking. I think
Yeah.
I think it's kind of it's taking the focus off of your dancing and putting it more on your like mind games, which I don't, I mean, I guess in a way, that's kind of how battling is. But I don't know. I don't think it's true to what it should be.
Yeah, I know.
But like I said, if somebody's gonna take a shot at me, I'm like, well, I'm 32. Like I got nothing better to do. Let me just talk to somebody. Let me shut this down real quick.
Yeah, of course, man. You have to defend yourself.
Yeah.
But man, my best memory of call-outs is I had a crew member back in 2003, I think, around. Tricky was his name. And somebody called him out, because he was talking smack. And he said, yeah, come on, okay, now you and me battle circle,
Mm-hmm.
It was in Stuttgart, Germany. He said, hey, give me 10 minutes. I need to warm up. I laughed for those 10 minutes. And then he battled him. Because he was flexible. He didn't want to get injury. He needed to warm up. And then...
What the heck?
Yeah, man. He said, give me 10 minutes.
Wait, how did he call you out? Was he like mad or something?
No. Another guy called my friend out, and
okay.
my friend said, give me 10 minutes. I need to warm up.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah,
this guy is so funny, man.
That's cool. Really funny.
And then he lost one time. He lost a battle, and then he calls out Boom, the head spin guy from Korea. Yeah. And he does only head spin, and my friend does like more style and freezes, and and so it was no sense battle, but man, it was good memories, man. Yeah. Call outs.
There's not really that kind
man,
of
I never got called out, man.
Huh?
I think I never got really called out in a battle.
I'll call you out next time then.
Oh shit.
Shouldn't have said I've been called out a couple times. Yeah. It's fun to get called out, honestly. As long as like it's not fun when there's like beef, someone's trying to like cause some trouble. I think that gets kind of crazy because then it usually just turns into a fight, which I really don't like in breaking. There's really no room for violence.
That's why we break, right?
Yeah.
So we don't touch each other.
There's been a lot of times where there's like, definitely my old crew, Flexible Flav, we would get into some crazy battles because, some crew would be beefing with us, and so then we'd get into it, and it would just get crazy. Everything would get escalated, and then people would start pushing each other, and then it's like, as soon as that happens, it's like, this is going to turn into a brawl.
Okay, crew battles, yes. Yeah. We got many call-outs in crew battles.
Okay.
And we are like, my crew and me, we are like brothers.
Yeah.
Most of them don't dance regularly.
Okay.
But we're still like brothers,
Yeah.
So, but back then crew battles, we battled like almost a lot of crews.
Mm-hmm.
Almost many crews, yeah.
Yeah.
We go to France, we battle like whoever is on the opposite side, Or we go to, America or Germany, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever is across us and they do something that we do better, we go inside and show, hey.
Yeah.
And then it starts.
So actually, this is something that probably got deleted because we didn't record, but you were talking about when you first came to America in 2007 for Freestyle Session 10
with my whole crew.
Yeah, and
we stayed in a shitty hostel on Hollywood Boulevard.
Dude.
That was the worst, man.
Everybody talks about
Wow.
It's funny because like outside of Hollywood, people are probably like, "Oh, Hollywood's this great place," but like, dude, it's like freaking bums pooping on the streets and stuff. It's all bad.
Crazy Hollywood.
Yeah. But there's a lot of shitty hostels.
But it was crazy, man, to come here, Freestyle Session. We grew up with those tapes.
And so then once you were here, it was probably a big like culture shock, huh?
Yeah.
Because that was the first time you came to America?
Second time? First time was 2003 in San Diego.
Oh, okay.
There is like a hip hop community company called Culture Shock. I don't know if you know.
Uh-huh.
And that was in the Switzerland Culture Shock.
Oh,
and we came to San Diego to perform at the Culture Shock showcase.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Then back then I battled Rainan.
Yeah.
Rainan and
I haven't seen that guy in a long time.
Yeah, Jabberwock. He's in Vegas.
Yeah.
He lives in Vegas. And all Culture Shock B-boys of San Diego. And my friend that was a B-boy, he didn't find the way to the circle,
Uh-huh.
So I was there alone. And I battled like 3-4 B-boys.
Oh, what the
and, but I did like my thing, I did like already elbow 1.5 and the 90s on carpet, because man, in Europe, I never started dancing like on the street. You know, we had
Yeah.
nice youth center, we had nice wood floor. We
Yeah,
had,
yeah.
you know, I didn't.
Uh-huh.
So I came there, shit carpet. Oh man, no headspin, no 90s. But fuck it, I do it anyways.
Yes.
You know, fuck it.
Some shitty place.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the first time. It was a good experience. And then the second time, we came with my crew, 2007 freestyle session 10.
And so then, when did you decide to live here?
We came, man, 2010, 11, New Year, when it was very cold in Switzerland. We came to LA. It was nice weather.
Okay.
So my brother and me, we came here to practice and see how is the industry, because we take also hip hop classes and we dance also hip hop, and we saw how it is, the industry, you know, and we see b-boys here and they book job movies and commercials and stuff, and we thought like, man, we can do some good stuff here, you know.
And so then you decided
we decided to move here.
Okay.
I wanted to move here since a long time, but 2014 was the time to move.
That was when you moved?
Okay.
Yeah, that was... When did my brother come out here?
It's
probably like right after that.
I met your brother 2015.
Yeah, I think he moved in 2000.
In a battle.
Oh, you battled him?
I don't know if I battled him. It was like a 7 to Smoke in that Fit Expo in Convention Center.
Yeah, that's right. He did do something like that. That's
how
surprising. He doesn't really battle that often. Yeah. So
he was having fun, man. I liked his style because I could see like he's having fun. You know, he's not like trying to kill that other guy in a battle. You know, like
he just messes around a lot.
That's cool.
I mean, he's really good, and he just messes around a lot.
Man, there's a big difference if you have a funny style, but there is. I always watch the skills. You know, if you have a funny character or a serious character, you watch how it matches with the level of the skills, you know. Yeah. And I saw it. Shit, he has a level of skills and he has having fun, you know. He doesn't take it too serious, you know.
Yeah,
he doesn't need to take it too serious to win a round, you know. So that's why I liked it, and I remembered him like
his style is like kind of goofy, and then him as a person, he's like more like serious. And I think that my style as a breaker is more serious, and my personality is probably more goofy than him. Yeah. So I don't know what.
Switch styles.
I always ask people, can you tell that me and him are brothers by our style?
No.
I feel like a lot of people can't tell, but I think if you look close enough, you can tell, because we do a lot of the same moves. It's just we do them differently from each other. But we learned from the same people. We practiced like every day together and stuff. I think so. It's weird how our styles diverged like that, but I don't know. Yeah,
he's more flexible, right?
He's more flexible than me, and I think I'm more like flowy than him.
That's true.
And so, and then I probably do more power moves than him. He does more freezes than me. But that's maybe the main differences, I think.
Me and my brother does everything more than me. Okay. I'm chilling.
Yeah. So I guess in terms of like breaking for you now, are you still into competing, or are you just...
I haven't battled in many years.
Okay.
Yeah, I battled I think maybe once or twice since I moved to America.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I didn't move for battling.
Yeah, you moved
here,
for
you know?
Industry work.
Yeah, I moved here for the industry. Yeah. And even my last battle, serious battle that we prepared, with my crew and everything, was like Battle of the Year 2011, Because I had like a crazy surgery. I tore my biceps and triceps ligament.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't even lift my arms, and that was like...
Is that your 90 arm?
Yeah, that's my 90 arm.
Dang, how do you do 1,090s on that arm?
I don't know, man. A lot of physical therapy and But it was actually in June. It's gonna be 10 years ago that I thought I'm gonna stop dancing and I'm gonna work a regular job, and that's it for me.
Oh, okay.
I lived a good life and I enjoyed my hobby for many years, and that's it.
Yeah.
But now that's why I enjoy now, and I don't have to practice sets or I don't prepare for battles or show. I just have fun,
Yeah, that's how it is for
love,
me. Yeah, no, I don't mind doing competitions once in a while because it keeps me like, I don't know, I guess it
keeps your both sides of the brain working.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, but
Yeah.
for the most part, I just break to like relieve stress, and
Yeah,
it's like a meditation for me in
it's
a
a
way,
good
because
training.
yeah, it forces me to stretch my creative brain, So like when I go to a practice, a lot of times I try to go into my own world and just make up whatever I can, and it's hard.
Man.
It's hard to think about all the like, whatever stuff is going on in your life when you're so focused on just dancing, because you can't really dance well if there's something else on your mind, and a lot of times I feel like I dance better when there is something that was on my mind, because it's like, it makes me try harder to like focus on on music and everything.
You try to get that out of
Yeah.
sight, and you by getting this out of, you focus here.
Yeah.
And then
for
you're
sure.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and a lot of times it's because you go like, I gotta focus on this, and if I don't, I'm gonna think of something crappy. Oh, I don't want to think about that. Let me just do this.
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
it's like kind of a break from reality.
I see you practice.
You get
Before I
stressed.
started talking to you, and you always practice for yourself, and you
Yeah, no,
you
I think a lot of times I just focus on that, and then if someone wants to talk to me or whatever, I'll talk. But like most of the time, I don't really go too far out of my way to like talk to people. I mean, because I used to just practice alone when I was living in Sacramento and in Oakland. I would just go to the gym and practice by myself. And like maybe once or twice a week, I'd go practice with some other people, but most of the time I'd just be by myself.
Where do you get the motivation from to practice by yourself?
I think it's just I like creating stuff.
Okay.
And so
you don't practice like hard stuff just to create.
I mean, I'll practice hard stuff sometimes. But yeah, it'll be a lot of times it lets me, I don't have any other distractions anymore. So it's like I can go, okay, I really want to get this move, so I can practice, what I need to do, and then I can like adjust my hand positions or whatever. When I'm with a bunch of people, there's always like, it's more playful to me, where there's like a little bit of, I need to perform, I need to react to what they're doing too. So it's more of an exchange kind of environment. But when I'm by myself, it's just I'm only doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, you focus on yourself.
Yeah, and so I have a lot of fun doing that.
Yeah, nice.
It's probably my favorite part of breaking, actually.
My favorite part is practicing with my crew, man. Yeah, because like everybody like pushes each other,
Yeah.
And we don't have to worry about practicing anything, so anybody else could practice that. Or you want to practice, keep it, look, that's how it goes, we push each other,
Okay, well, dude, we've been going for like 56 minutes.
Oh,
so
shoot.
we could probably wrap this show up. There's a lot I could still talk to you about, but I don't want to go too long. Plus my camera's probably gonna die soon. Yeah. Well, is there anything else you want to say before we close this show? Where can people find you?
I was just staring.
Oh,
the
yeah,
GoPro
staring
4
at that.
Hero.
Yeah, it's an old one. It works pretty well though.
And
Dude,
I stopped that too.
Oh, you have the
GoPro 2. I stopped there.
Yeah, no. I bought this because I told myself I need to start filming myself breaking more.
Yeah, man.
Because I seriously have like no footage of myself, because I never really film myself, because I don't know, it's just not something I normally do. So I bought that to film myself, and I maybe filmed for like a couple weeks, and then I just got sick of it. And so I don't really use it. And then when I started this show, I was like, oh, I got an extra camera now. So that's like the main one, and then this
you can use it. Yeah, nice. I have the DJI Pocket Pro. No, Pocket. Like the small DJI. It's with the camera and everything.
Oh, okay.
And I used it a couple of times in practice.
Yeah. Okay.
It has also a wide view and everything.
Okay.
But I know, man, I record with my phone most of the things.
Oh, okay. My phone doesn't have any space in it, because I have a ton of music in there, so it's like...
But you can put an extra SD card, no?
I have it extra, and it's full of music.
Oh, shit.
I got hella music.
Okay.
I'm like really into music, honestly.
You do beats?
I make music, and then I just listen to lots of music. I love,
Man.
I seriously can talk about music all day long.
Yeah, I can talk about music too.
It's like, what's your favorite
That's
style of
another.
music?
Oh man. I mean, for now,
Yeah.
I like jazz, man.
You do? Yeah.
Yeah. Since everybody calls me Illjaz in America, I started
that.
liking jazz.
You like that?
No, but for
jazz
me,
music.
I don't know, man. I think I like martial arts. I always liked like Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, Donnie Yen.
Uh-huh.
And then music-wise, I always liked Stevie Wonder, Tupac.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was like my LL Cool J,
Yeah.
you know. And then
He was dope.
sports-wise and human is Muhammad Ali's.
What,
Muhammad Ali, yeah.
Okay.
He's like
Those
everything.
are your influences?
Yeah, man.
Dude,
This is my combination of
your
what
influences?
yeah.
Yeah, no.
But before that, God,
I've always loved Jackie Chan because that guy just,
he's the best.
he
man.
doesn't give a fuck.
Man, I think he's gonna be appreciated more when he dies. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, he's already appreciated. I mean,
Yeah.
God, that guy,
But man, his legacy, I feel like, man, it's
he,
same with Bruce Lee. If
Yeah,
not more,
yeah.
You know,
uh,
you know, because Bruce Lee is kind of, you
he's,
know, not
I
alive
feel like
anymore.
Bruce
He's
Lee made mixed martial arts famous.
famous, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because the idea of it kind of, it was already around, but it wasn't mainstream by any means. But he just kind of, that was what he was all about. Was this is, or I guess it wasn't called mixed martial arts at that time, but it was just like the idea of pulling pieces of every martial art that makes you better. That was he kind of brought that to the mainstream.
Yeah, but I think Jean-Claude Van Damme is the best, man.
Jean-Claude Van Damme with the splits, man. That guy is crazy.
Shit, man. Did you see
He's
like
such a
his
goofy-ass dude.
last interviews?
Have you seen
Jean-Claude
movie is
Van
that?
Johnson.
what's that freaking movie?
Yo, kickboxer.
Was
2?
it Breakin'?
Oh yeah, Breakin' in
He was
Venice
like-
Beach.
He's like, yeah, dude.
Oh my
when
God,
someone
yeah,
pointed
man.
that out
I
to me,
think
because I
that's-
didn't know that,
yeah,
that was
I
him,
knew it,
and
yeah.
someone pointed that out to me. I was like, that's freaking
Yeah,
Jean-Claude
man.
Van Damme.
That's his first step into Hollywood.
And he was like, yeah.
man, with
And
this-
then he does like a body roll.
this-
Yeah, he's got the like, oh, I was like, man, this is terrible.
Yeah,
but
man.
I mean, that movie sucks, but
Yeah.
I never there was a bunch of B-boys I knew back in the day that would say, you'd ask them what their favorite movie was, and they're like, Breakin'. And I was like,
Breakin'. Man, Beat Street.
they would say Breakin'.
Wow,
And I was
that's
like,
crazy.
why do you like that movie?
Wow.
It's like a parody of hip hop almost.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's so freaking goofy.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I don't know.
They just wanted to make some money, man.
I don't wanna
I see
hate-
some producers, they saw some kids seeing something where they can make money. Okay, throw some money, get a lot of money back.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it, man.
I mean,
all I can see is that.
I don't want to hate on it, but it's so over the top goofy that
Yeah.
like I can't get behind it.
How many movies are there of this?
Breakin'? I
One
think
and
there's
two?
only 2 or
Two?
3 maybe. Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo. I think that's it. There might be a third one. I don't know. I honestly watched them once and I was like, what am I doing with my life? I need to
man.
I need to go practice. Why am I
Man.
watching this crap?
And I grew up with Battle of the Year VHS tapes.
Yeah, right.
You know.
That was the stuff I'd rather watch. It's
Yeah.
Battle of the Year. I watched
One of my.
a lot of the old freestyle sessions. Yeah.
One
Back
of
when you
my-
could only get the VHS tapes, there
Yeah.
wasn't any YouTube, so there was like,
Yeah, man. Fuck VHS, man. I still have a lot of VHS tapes
Yeah, I
in
have
my
I got
storage somewhere in Switzerland.
okay, I got a bunch here. I think, yeah, like Lords of the Floor. I have
Man,
probably have
there
the old Style Elements video. I can't
there
remember the
used to
name of
be
that.
like an
7
ultimate
Gens.
B-boy session. Germany, it was kind of like BC1, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was like B-boys all over the world. One was Swarm Battles.
Mm.
Yeah, that was cool. But Battle of the Year 96, man. It's my first
Yeah,
VHS. It's very good, man.
Dang.
Still good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Enemy Squad versus
Oh yeah.
Toys in Effect.
Uh-huh.
There was a Swiss crew.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
only time a Swiss crew won.
Uh-huh.
And rest in peace to Nice Kid. He was
Nice Kid.
yeah, he did like that's I do sometimes the head spin with ball and piece.
Yeah.
That's his move, you know.
Uh huh.
And me and my brother met him, and when we were very young.
Yeah.
And his crew came to our city to train with Basel City Attack. And he was the only guy approaching us, you know.
Yeah.
And he was pushing us and teach us like how to do better head spin and moves. He was like the only guy talking to us, even we were just kids,
Yeah.
And then from then on we were like, wow, man, you are this guy and you talk to us. And
was there another Swiss crew that was really popular back then that went to Battle of the Year? They didn't win, but I think they got 3rd place or something. I don't remember.
Scrambling Feet.
Scrambling Feet. Yeah, that
Tough Kid.
Familiar.
Yeah, that's his crew.
Yeah.
That's Nice Kid with Tough Kid. He joined them for Battle of the Year. They battled South Africa, I think. I should actually go to the final and battle Flying Steps.
Yeah.
That would have been a crazy battle.
Man,
Benny
those
versus
tapes
Tough
are
Kid.
crazy.
They were back in a crew, back together. Back
Tough
in
Kid
days.
was like the guy.
Yeah, man.
That guy was so good.
When he came to freestyle sessions.
Does he still break?
Yeah, he still breaks, man.
Okay.
He's now he's like pushing the community in Basel, in our city, and he pushes young kids, and he's like a community center with dance, kind of. It's he does good things, Yeah.
Okay. Well, shoot.
Yeah. Well,
probably close the show out.
Okay.
Peace. Well, before we do that, what's your like Instagram or where can people like talk?
My Instagram is like my name,
Illjaz.
Yeah.
ILLJAZ on Instagram and anywhere else. Or do you want to give any shout outs?
Shout out to my crew, Ruffn'x, and shout out to all my friends that know me. And
all right, thank you guys for listening. Sorry this show sucks and I don't know how to press the record button, and
it's red. It's recording.
I know. At least I got that right the second time. All right.
It was fun, man.
Peace, everybody.
Hey.